Last year, Zwift Academy opened its doors, launching a groundbreaking worldwide talent search to find the next pro rider for Canyon SRAM racing. The competition exceeded all expectation. Over 1,200 women from 51 countries signed up to take the challenge in Zwift. In a truly grand finale, on the island of Majorca at Canyon SRAM's training camp, Leah Thorvaldsen of Little Rock, Arkansas, was crowned 2016 Zwift Academy champion and the newest member of Canyon SRAM Racing. This year, it could be you.
Oh wow, I could have a shot at a pro contract, but it's for anyone. It's a huge step forward in your own fitness, and so it's not all just about the one person who's going to get a pro contract. It's a win for everyone who's involved.
Zwift Academy is this great program where Zwift is trying to get the women more involved. It's just this huge, to me, a great community. There's women coming up going, I get how this could fit into my life.
What I think is so nice about Zwift Academy, I really think that it was inspiring lots of women to take part in this adventure. Maybe they've gone far beyond their own expectations.
How far I got in Zwift, there were 1,200 females that joined, and there were 100 females that finished Zwift, and I can't believe I was one of them.
Yes, it's hard. Come on, you can do it, you know, just do your best. Because it's not just the physical side, it's the determination and to boost your confidence in anything else you do, not just cycling.
Find out how strong you really are. Find new friends from around the world. Find out if you have what it takes to go pro.
Do not wait, just follow your dreams.
Be the best cyclist you can be. Head over to academy.zwift.com to find out more and sign up today.
here. He backs it off, sits in that slipstream. Looks like we've got Dunn and Ockerby here in together. So I reckon there's going to be a bit of shake and bake here.
1 kilometer to go. Actually, 600 meters to go. It's stretched out. Everyone is still in this group. Pat Shaw is heading up the front now. 7 watts. He's popping an early power up. He has got the legs. He's feeling good. And he is going with about 500 meters to go. Pat Shaw, 13 watts per kilo. Aero power up being popped. He's got to keep behind Anthony Vegan Porsche, Ockerby, and everyone else. Can he do it? Here goes Pat Shaw, but we're looking further behind. The pace is through the roof. Here comes Aaron Dunn on the right side. He's got 3 seconds up to Pat Shaw, but Pat Shaw is nearing that finish line. But as we look over the shoulders, the riders are coming back. It's going to be on the line, as it's going to be Pat Shaw taking it. Woo. Pat Shaw, where's his wheels? Aaron Dunn.
Nice work. Nice work there, Paddy. So
last year, Zwift Academy opened its doors, launching a groundbreaking worldwide talent search to find the next pro rider for Canyon SRAM racing. The competition exceeded all expectation. Over 1,200 women from 51 countries signed up to take the challenge in Zwift. In a truly grand finale, on the island of Majorca at Canyon SRAM's training camp, Leah Thorvaldsen of Little Rock, Arkansas, was crowned 2016 Zwift Academy champion and the newest member of Canyon SRAM Racing. This year, it could be you.
Oh wow, I could have a shot at a pro contract, but it's for anyone. It's a huge step forward in your own fitness, and so it's not all just about the one person who's going to get a pro contract. It's a win for everyone who's involved.
Zwift Academy is this great program where Zwift is trying to get the women more involved. It's just this huge, to me, a great community. There's women coming up going, I get how this could fit into my life.
What I think is so nice about Zwift Academy, I really think that it was inspiring lots of women to take part in this adventure. Maybe they've gone far beyond their own expectations.
How far I got in Zwift, there were 1,200 females that joined, and there were 100 females that finished Zwift, and I can't believe I was one of them.
Yes, it's hard, but come on, you can do it, you know, just do your best. Because it's not just the physical side, it's the determination and to boost your confidence in anything else you do, not just cycling.
Find out how strong you really are. Find new friends from around the world. Find out if you have what it takes to go pro.
Do not wait, just follow your dreams.
Be the best cyclist you can be. Head over to academy.zwift.com to find out more and sign up today.
Good morning, good evening, good afternoon, everyone. Welcome to the Zwift Community Live broadcast of the Kiss Down Under race out on Zwift. Riders are about to take off, it looks like, in about 32 seconds or so. Real quick, we want to go over what the race rules are, as well as what you are looking at if you're unfamiliar with Zwift. The race rules for today: power-ups are allowed at all times in game. All bikes are allowed, and there's going to be an A, B, C, and D categories in the race, but they are not going to be separated out from each other today. It looks like we've got about 86 racers in the massive multiplayer online game that is Zwift, with all the riders putting out real efforts actually as they get going here out onto the course. If you have not seen Zwift before, we are actually live on Twitch, Zwift's Facebook, Mixer, as well as YouTube. Maybe a few new viewers over at especially Mixer tuning in, I would think, wondering what is this race all about, or this program all about. And a massive multiplayer online, this is real riders actually that are actually on trainers at their houses or wherever their trainers may be with their bicycles, putting out real power in order to power these avatars forward. As you can see here, we do have an international field as well, but since it is the Down Under race and we are in winter season, or the cold season down in Australia, New Zealand, and that whole area of the world, we do tend at this time of day to get a huge contingent of riders from that area. I am seeing Kim Little here, though, from Team Experimental, hammering away up toward the front of the race. Definitely want to be watching out for here, as he is one of the strongest riders, definitely, and most experienced riders out on course here. Since it is a mass start race, that means that they are not calling any of the categories today. They are all going to be starting together. All the categories will be sorted out then as the race goes on, and riders who are faster do start taking off on the others. Anybody that is a part of the A, B, C, or D race then will just have in their name, next to their name, as you can see in parentheses, what race that they are a part of, and ZwiftPower.com will be tracking that and making the sorting the riders correctly for the category that they have entered. So on the left-hand side then, by their name, you do see the E, meaning that everyone has started as a mass start all together. We do have a couple of different avatars in the game right now following along with the races, so we will be able to cover the A, B / and as well as the C, D race then as well. So we'll try and keep eyes on both of those. Right from the get-go, though, coming out of Great Britain here, we do have D Cox going off the front here from C2 Racing, actually, right along with N Mugos here out of Australia. Kim Little then making sure that he's following things up very quickly, as well as a Hinton. As the groups do break apart, it is going to be 4 laps. Hilly, Watopia. Good to see you, Kim. Good to see you, Zwift Community Live over there as well, hanging out. Chris Guy, how's it going? Just heard about Zwift last week. This is amazing. Good to see you, Chris Guy, over at Mixer. Appreciate you tuning in. I'm glad that you just heard about Zwift. It is pretty sweet. And as you can see here, D Miller now hammering away almost 1,000 watts with a little kick there out of Australia now. 3.5 watts, becoming 158 beats per minute or so. We do have, I want to make sure everybody knows, we do have our social media integrations up. So if you have any questions, if you're just tuning in for the first time and you've never seen Zwift before, or you'd like to know what's going on with some of the riders, what some of the teams are, what are these bikes out there, what some of the kits are, we've got all kinds of questions for your answers. And so if you would like to interact with the broadcast, the best way to do so is to tweet at us at ZCommunityLive, at ZCommunityLive. I am seeing Chris Field here did throw us a tweet, or a retweet actually, so that'll help us real quickly here to show you guys exactly how you are able to tweet at us. Actually, Mixer just shouted out to us. Thanks a lot, Mixer. We really appreciate that. And we'll get the integrations here going right about now. We just had to refresh our title. And as you can see here, Mixer went ahead and shouted out at us, and we can bring their integration right on in here at Kiss Road Race, about to begin. So head on over to at Z Community Live. And since they did do that at Z Community Live, we were able to pick that up. So if you have any questions, comments, or pictures you'd like to shoot at us as well of your Zwift setup, go ahead and do so, and we can bring it right on into the broadcast. So it does look like we do have A Baines here up toward the front out of Australia. A large group here up toward the front now, as they are doing 4 laps of the Hilly Watopia course. And out on this course, the definite areas of break up or areas that are the key points of interest out on course where you can really cause some mayhem in the legs of the other riders is going to be the climb on the Watopia reverse course is what they are on here. As you can see in the upper right hand corner where my cursor is right now, the riders are right where that orange arrow is, riding as a pack. They are all drafting on each other right now. You can see 170 beats per minute currently coming from A. Baines. Martin here riding for the KISS Racing team at 163 beats per minute right now. 370 watts, 4.8 watts per kilogram in and amongst this group as well. And so that is where these riders are located right now. They are being chased down, it looks like, a little bit by a large contingent of riders here behind them that are making up the main bunch of B and C riders. Probably about, it would look like 10 riders or so as the main chase group right now, but they are a solid 34 seconds back already after they went through the Essies being the first little section out on course on the reverse Watopia that has a couple little punchers in it that take about 10 seconds or so. It is enough, though, to break things apart, as you can see. Now, the riders here that are sitting in are getting a draft on the other avatars, so they are having to work less than those at the front here. As you can see by the name here, 3.8 watts per kilogram, 3.0, 4.1 coming from Battiato, coming out of Italy here. Then we also do have M. Elias riding for Innovation Cycles out of Australia, sitting in at 3.1, but up toward the front of this pack, we should see up in that 5 watts per kilogram, 4 watts per kilogram, a lot higher numbers up toward the front end of this group. Kay Leonard here from Innovation here, 4.7, etc. So about a watt to a watt and a half per kilogram more up toward the front end of this race. As this race does break up the first time up and over the top of the climb, we will go ahead and update our reaction polls, and we will be trying to figure out from the Facebook voting what team is going to be winning. So we'll be using the reaction polls over on Zwift's Facebook with the hearts as well as the laughs and the wows to try and vote for what team you think is going to win out there today once we do get a breakaway group. And having this about 4-minute climb on the reverse Watopia, as you can see the course profile for Watopia, the original course. There's a lot more courses than just this one. There's a mountain course, there's a flat course, a volcano course, all kinds of additions that have come out. But they're doing the traditional reverse Watopia today, going past the giant alien statues, you can see. Now, as they do get into this uphill gradient, 5.0% up into even like 8, 9, 10 plus percent in just a moment here, this is when the race is really going to pick up. And you see Kim Little here out of Great Britain, one of the CVR Cup competitors, as well as the Las Vegas CVR World Champs race. He was a competitor there as well, hammering away up and over the top here, 8 watts per kilogram here. And as soon as it starts going uphill, gravity starts to kick into the race and starts to break things apart. We do see it looks like a Pia Senders here from the PTZ Portugal team trying to chase down Innovation here as well with KK Lim. I'm unfamiliar with this rider, a new rider jumping onto Innovation coming out of Korea here. Anthony Porsche there for Vision Cycling trying to follow things up coming out of Australia. Always a super strong rider to be watching out for. Then we do have, it looks like, Zawadzki out of Australia riding unattached. No team for him, as well as Turksma out of the Netherlands there. The Dutchman there taking up the rear end of this chase, but it looks like Ryan there able to get on B. Gooding, but Jay Creel here from Vision Cycling trying to get back up with his teammate, also a CVR World Cup competitor, able to jump right onto the wheel of the other Innovation riders. It looks like D. Cox here just barely able to grab back onto a wheel here, grab that draft and hang on. Newell's going with him as well. And as we said, this is going to be the moments of decision for this race. But up toward the front, Kim Little already with the gap here. And is he going to go for a full-on TT effort solo? And as we said, power-ups are allowed in this race right now. So with this feather power-up right now, just like a turtle shell in Mario Kart or the lightning bolts or whatever, there is a little RNG in some of the races. The race organizers organizers of the community are able to open up or close power-ups for their races. Every time they go through a start-finish banner, as you can see here right on the course profile where my cursor is up in the upper right here, you do see each point out on course where there is a start-finish banner, which is the orange Z, as well as the sprint banner they already went through by that Italian village just a little while ago, as well as the KOM banner. Each one of those banners, when you go underneath them, it is actually like hitting the back in Mario Kart when you would hit the little question mark boxes and it would go ahead and scroll through a bunch of power-ups. Well, it's kind of like that. You scroll through a bunch of power-ups that are available to you in game. So a little bit of RNG thrown in there. It's kind of actually like real life a little bit, because there's a lot of random number games that are thrown at us in real life. Headwinds, rain, tailwinds, all kinds of things that can change throughout a race for you. So it adds a little bit of an RNG factor to the world of Zwift, actually. So Kim Little did have that feather power up, and now he's going to be looking for another one here, as he still has a 3-second gap here. We do have KK Lim going right along with him out of Korea. Then it is going to be Sawatsky then out of Australia, with Ascenders there able to follow right on up from the PTZ team. Now they're attacking again, trying to drop off Turksma out of the Netherlands here in that E Fondo. It looks like he did complete the E Fondo recently out on Zwift here. So solid effort to him there, able to grab that jersey, but it doesn't look like it's helping him too much to get back on terms with the front end of the race, as they have 3 seconds, and attacking on the downhill is one of the smartest places to do it, because after a 3:31 climb, oh my goodness, you guys, those boys just threw down some of the fastest times I've ever seen up and over the top. This is going to be a crazy down under race, and as you can see, 26 seconds back to the chasers now, 4 men off the front. C2 Racing with Creel and Ryan, and as well as Newell and Turksma able to get back on terms almost. We do have vegan Anthony Porsche now throwing down a feather power up on the downhill, lighting himself up on the downhill. Interesting, maybe just looking for that extra watts per kilogram. As you can see him bumping into that 8 or so. 5 seconds back though at this point, 178 beats per minute. It might be GG, good game for him at this point, but 10 men it looks like off the front now. Anthony Porsche 5 seconds back, and it's going to be Kim Little, Zawatsky, and Innovation Ascenders. They're all together still. Creel able to pull that back in, and now it's going to be a large group at the front though, but it has established itself over the Spinach Man back here. We've got somebody, what is this name? We've got Kayvon Spinach here. Popeye, let's go. But Vegan Porsche trying to get back on terms. 11 seconds back. Not sure it's going to happen just yet. And so we've got Kim Little is racing and chatting. Zwift Community Live is saying, yes, you're sure. Not sure about chat. Maybe some sweaty keyboard bashing. Kiwi Grump says, go innovation. Debug giving us a whoppa. Hyperbot saying, thanks a lot, Chris Guy, for the host. We really appreciate the host so much. Debug is hosting us as well. Thank you so much, Debug. Juiced Penguin saying hi. How's it going, Juiced Penguin? Good to see you over at the broadcast. And we're getting a little bit of information here from KK Lim saying that the new innovation boy out of Korea is actually a Masters champion back in 2014. So that's really good to hear, actually. And good information to have. Really appreciate that. Very much. This is awesome. How's it going, Pimp Dud? Good to have you here. Thanks for the claps. We really appreciate that. Is this Tour de France game? It's like it, Lazy, but the difference is that these guys are actually, so in the Tour de France game, the controllers are using your hands and you're using the keyboard. These people are actually all pedaling the power that you're actually seeing in the upper left-hand corner right now. So they're on their actual bikes that they're hooking up to some sort of a trainer, or you can call them turbo trainers, that actually are able to either read the power of the trainer themselves, or a speed sensor, or a power meter that's communicating into the game the actual power that they're really putting into the bicycles through the pedals right now in order to compete with each other and draft off each other through the algorithms that Zwift has set up on these courses. So they're actually controlling these avatars with real power from their legs right now. These are real heart rates that you're seeing from them as well, with heart rate straps on actually at 156 beats per minute here. Kim Little from Team Experimental hammering away with the Innovation Boy up at the front end, that Alienware kit. Creel able to follow it up real quickly there from Vision Cycling as well out of Australia. So we've got all these guys and gals from all over the world on different continents, all racing each other in this massive multiplayer online actual bicycling game, Pimp Dud. So Pimp Dud says, wow, yeah, it's a pretty innovative thing. It's really, really cool, actually. So, and so, yeah, there is, here's some guy pushing really hard in Zwift, which Community Live is helping them out with a couple of links there to show exactly what people are doing. We actually also have a setup called Zwift on board that we're going to try and bring to you guys more often, where we can actually see the real life effort of, like Kim Little, he used to do our Zwift on board a little bit here, where they'll actually be in the corner where I am while I'm commentating on their real life efforts while they push through out on Zwift. So we'll try and set that up again for you guys to show you what the efforts look like as well. So Anthony Porsche says so much for that one. Looks like he's fallen off the back and is going to try and get back onto it. Over at Zwift's Facebook, Pedro Barroso saying, good morning. Good to see you, Pedro. Thanks a lot for tuning in. Working from home certainly has its benefits. I love these broadcasts. Thanks, Russell. And it's good to have you here for sure. We haven't quite whittled things down just yet to 3 teams up at the front. I have a feeling that we will get there soon enough. We'll go ahead and update the reaction polls in just maybe another lap or so, if we can bring it down to a maybe we'll pick the favorites out there. I have a feeling that Kim Little most likely going to be a favorite to try and take things today, as he's won many races. Actually, if we head on over to zwiftpower.com, we can see exactly how many races he has won. As zwiftpower.com, you head on over there and you can actually see on the live tab for this race, you click on the Kiss Down Under race, and on the live tab you can see all the racers that are in the race with live metrics updates actually over at that website. And if I click on Kim Little's name actually in the live updates, I can see everything he's done out on Zwift for the races and events. From the United Kingdom, he's ZADA approved, which means that he has actually submitted power files from his power meter to show that he can do the efforts that are being shown in game to a high level of accuracy actually. So that's a ZADA approval has been done for him. He's got an estimated FTP of 350 watts. He's raced 148 races out on Zwift. The last race he did was the ZHR up and down race yesterday actually on the 28th, and he actually won that race, got a second in the LRC BCRS Brit Crit Race Series, as well as won the Kiss America's AM back on the 15th a little over a week ago. So Kim Little still going super strong out on Zwift. He's had 2 wins and a second for the last 3 races he's done, so definitely a favorite out here to win today. So we're going to go ahead and add Team Experimental to our reaction polls, and Team Experimental for the win today is, well, that's going to be one of the ones that you can vote for out there as well. We'll leave Vision Cycling in there as well, and we'll leave Innovation in there as well with the Masters champ coming out of Korea. Those will be the 3 choices that we can have out there, and then if you're going to choose somebody else, go ahead and just hit that like button maybe instead as a reaction. But we do have our reaction polls up, so if you think that Team Experimental is going to be taking the win today, go ahead and grab that heart. If you think that it's going to be Vision Cycling, go ahead with Creel, who is in there, super strong rider who actually made it and qualified for the CVR World Cup by racing out on Zwift. If you think it's going to be Innovation, go ahead and hit that wow button, and you can vote for who you think is going to win out there today out on Zwift for the 4 laps of the Watopia Hilly Reverse. We'll keep on coming back to those reaction polls, but it looks like Team Experimental's got 3 votes. Vision Cycling's got 3 as well. Innovation has lost 1 with 0 right now. We'll see if those do change as we do keep updating those. Again, if you have any questions or anything, make sure to bring your questions our way over to the broadcast through our social media by tweeting at ZCommunityLive, at ZCommunityLive. And we're seeing that Anthony, he actually communicated with us, was a part of the race here, says that I'm out, If I'm not at the front, it's game over. Was caught sleeping as I didn't expect a 330 watt pace for the first time over. Gotcha. Or a 330 pace, right? So a 330 pace is absolutely insane, you guys. They did one of the fastest times, as you can see on the left-hand side of the course here, or of the screen here. These are the times that they have for the king of the mountain of that reverse Watopia climb they just did. I usually do it in about a 350 to 4 minute or so for my repeats when I'm solo. You do get a little bit of an advantage when you're with a group because of the drafting effect and the pack moves faster than when you are solo, but still a 331, that is an absolute all-out effort, and it definitely would catch just about anybody off guards out on Zwift today. So we do see it is a very elite group up at the front of this race with Little here hammering away 461 watts. Pretty calm yet with the heart rate here, 150 beats per minute or so. And looking back here, we do see that it is going to be KK Lim then out of Korea riding for that innovation with that extra vote. It looks like here for innovation, we just came in our reaction poll actually on the wow. So, and it definitely is a big wow here up in that 8 watts per kilogram. When you see the orange numbers on the right-hand side, you know they're absolutely drilling it, as over 8 watts per kilogram is all somebody can usually hold for 30 seconds, maybe into a minute and a half or so. So really a huge effort here coming from Kim, breaking things off over 5 meters. When you do see at the bottom of the screen here, it says how many meters they are off the back. That means there is no draft when it's over 5 meters. So he does have enough a gap that it makes sense to continue to push the pace here and try and break apart the group and try and maybe snap the elastic a little bit at the back here for anybody who might be suffering, like Decox right here. 188 beats per minute. Looks like he's gone absolute nuclear. Kaboom goes the legs off the back now. We'll give him a ride on, though. A little ride on. That is some encouragement that you can give riders when they're out there. That goes ahead and pops over the head and then goes down into their jersey pocket. And you can see it's hanging out there. The more ride-ons you get, a lot more encouragements, and it actually adds up. And at the end of your ride, you can see how many that you got. So now Gooding here from Innovation hanging on at 6.5 at the back out of Australia, 9.7 miles in total. They still have 2.5 laps to go. This is the second time up and over the top. It does level out a little bit though here on the reverse Watopia. So there's definitely some tactics to be used at this point as to whether or not you're going to keep pulling up at the front here. He still has a little over 5 meters. Zawadzki now back on terms though. We do see him able to draft 2.7 watts per kilogram. Little still having to put out about 4.2 or so. Newell here 172 beats per minute. Ryan Kidd there coming out of New Zealand, actually 104 RPMs. Cannot win the category though because he does not have a heart rate monitor. Heart rate monitors are compulsory for A category racers, so he's unable to win it today, but good workout for him today. As you can see, 355 beats per minute and 109 RPMs. Solid effort, and that's what it's all about. Cycling made social. And with the different categories, that's probably something that we should be talking about. So as far as the different categories go, the A category riders. So a lot of you who may be new to this, I'm seeing a lot of questions rolling in, a lot of chatter coming over from Mixer right now. And just so you guys know, as far as the watts per kilogram I keep talking about, that's how many watts somebody can hold per kilogram of body weight that they have. And an FTP, or functional threshold power in watts per kilogram, is one of the best measurements about how strong you can be on a bike. So A category riders can hold 4 watts per kilogram of body weight that they have or higher. For anybody who is a part of the game of Zwift, when you jump into an event, 4.0 or higher is going to be all these A category riders. FTP, functional threshold power, as Kim Little's attacking up on the top, showing that he's got quite the FTP, as he's well over that 4.0, 5.0 or so. But a functional threshold power is how many watts per kilogram that you can hold for how many watts you can hold for about 1 hour straight. And you can do an estimation of that by doing a 20-minute all-out test. When you're done with that 20-minute all-out test, it'll give you an estimated wattage for what you can hold for your functional threshold power. And then from there, you take that and you divide it by your body weight in kilograms, and then you get your ratio. So 4.0 or higher is those A categories. B categories are 3.2 to 4.0 in the world of Zwift. C categories are 2.5 to 3.2 and 2.5 or under for D category riders. A little ways back now from these A riders, we do have it getting broken apart now with Ascenders and Kim Little going off the front. Turksman trying to chase things down the Dutchman here. I think they will be caught by this group. I'm not sure they're going to be able to get away as Innovation here is attacking again. And while they might actually form their own group, as the Korean here is now trying to make it so nobody drafts on him while he closes the gap. That was a very smart move from KK Lim here, as he was not going to pull anybody up to the group ahead. He attacked so incredibly hard, nobody was able to grab the draft immediately, and they might be able to work together now. Turksman now seeing a definite threat here. The Dutchman, knowing that this is the moment of truth, he jumps as well. Super hard to try and close things back down, but they all just sit on his wheel, and he's going to pull the whole group right back on up, and it will be Grupo Compacto once again. So, as we were saying then, we also have the C and D riders, though, a little ways back from here. We want to make sure to cover all of the racers out on Zwift, a part of the C and D categories. We will be covering the B categories and A categories with this avatar that currently is logged in on this part of the event. But I do have what looks to be the front end of the C category. Let me just double check here for you really quickly, though. I want to make sure I get this correct. I think it's going to be S. Parker at 3.4 watts per kilogram, a little bit over category limits, but it will be Ormandy. Yep, I do have Ormandy here with our other feed coming in from the cars that are out on course driving around for us, picking them up. And we do have Ormandy here with S. Hill, 196 beats per minute, 2.4 watts per kilogram. They are on their second time up over the top of the reverse Watopia climb. Ormandy with Bouchard here, about 4.7 watts per kilogram, just a little ways back in that B category, behind the C category leader right now. And that would be Ormandy out of Australia. We do have T. Ringborg as well. Ringborg here trying to chase Ormandy. It's only a 4-second gap, riding for Team ODZ, actually. One of the most popular teams actually out on Zwift, run a lot of amazing group rides. If you ever want to get a part of a good group ride or a workout group ride, as well as some cool races, ODZ do a great job of that. And if you ever want to jump into an event out on Zwift, you log on in, and on the right hand side or in the Zwift mobile link as well, if you can download that as well on your phone, and you can see all the events in there, and you can jump right on into them. They also have a website, I believe it is Team ODZ. Go ahead and check them out. Quick Google search could find them as well with all their events that they do run. But make sure, if you are interested in Zwift, another cool thing is the Zwift mobile link. You download that, and you can give riders a ride on, actually, that are out on course right on through that, as well as see all of the upcoming events, races, as well as group rides that are happening. So up toward the front of the C race, this is then Bouchard here hammering away. He was able to not quite catch Ormandy, but is about a 2-second gap here, trying to bring it back. And you can see what the gap is here as the rain is coming down on these avatars. And there is the chase coming from Pelicans and Bouchard. But right back to the action up toward the front end of the race here with the A racers. We do have Turksmont now right along with Sawatsky. It does look like a 51-second gap back to KP from the WBR, the World Bicycle Relief team now, who is hanging out with Tihore as well as Dutton and Eckersley from Innovation. A lot of Innovation boys here, just keeping things Grupo Compacto here amongst the chase group. Creel then from Vision Cycling is there up at the front still, along with who looks to be B. Gooding, who's going to be working along with his teammate here. So again, we still have those reaction polls up, and it looks like Kim Little is still in there. We did have a reaction from a couple of the viewers over at the Facebook. Aaron Dunn is saying Kim Little for the win. Quinn the Face saying go Jeffrey, show him how we do it from Vision Cycling. So as you can see here, Team Experimental with 4 votes. Vision Cycling with Creel up in there getting some votes with 4 as well. And Innovation, they've actually got the numbers here though, as we are seeing it's KK Lim here, as well as I did see one other rider, I believe it was Gooding is in here. So they got a couple of numbers up at the front here on that Tron bike. Now we do see it is going to be KK Lim from Korea trying to pull a little bit here, but everything's kind of Grupo Compacto. They're very comfortable at this point with their gap now. So if you do have a vote there for any of the teams, make sure to go ahead and throw your reaction over at the Facebook for Zwift. That's where those can be thrown in. So what's going on, Ganja Borges? How are you doing there? Looking through here at a couple of the questions. How long is the race? So the race today is going to be real quickly here. We do have a race of 22.6 miles or 36 kilometers out on Zwift today. If you do have any more questions about the race, go ahead and bring them our way. But these are, again, real racers on real bikes with real heart rates throwing down against each other right now from all over the world. An international field up toward the front of this A race. Kim Little here out of the UK, one of the favorites at 137 beats per minute. They've got about a lap and a half yet to go, and the fireworks are most likely really going to go off on this next time up and over the top of the climb here. And if you do have any of your predictions or anything like that, go ahead and bring them our way through tweeting at us at ZCommunityLive, at ZCommunityLive. So these guys are on indoor trainers or something. Sorry, I'm new. Yes, ads. These guys are on indoor trainers right now, putting out actual power through power meters or speed sensors or smart trainers. If you go on over to Zwift.com, you can actually see all the different ways that it can work and all the different trainers that do hook up to it. Zwift was really smart about the way that they design things, and they made it so that they're mainly just they just make software, and it's compatible with just about any way that you're able to communicate watts from a bicycle and a trainer from your house or from a studio where you might have Zwift set up, etc. So international field here of riders. We got the UK represented here with Kim Little coming from Team Experimental. We've got Senders here as well, riding for PTZ. We've got looks like Korea there as well with KK Lim. A lot of different, and then as well the Netherlands here with Turksma, and all sitting in this lead group right now. So sorry, this was my opinion, very it's all good, Ganja. Maybe check out the game and see what you think of it after you jump on a trainer, and let us know once you try and keep up with the boys up toward the front of the game. It's all about putting the sport into esport in some ways here, with the riders here hammering against each other in order to try and take the win today in the KISS race down under. Yes, it does work with Apple TV as well as Zwift Community Live is letting you know over at the Mixer broadcast. So, all right, things are about to heat up here, though, as you can see with the front end of the race. Zawadzki here, it looks like, trying to... Actually, nobody's really taken too much of a flyer. They're all kind of trying to calm things down because they know where the deciding moments are. Really, it's the Essies with those couple of punches before you hit that sprint section, and then it's the reverse Watopia climb. And you can see here the riders are sitting in, allowing their heart rates to fall. 144 here coming from Senders. Zawadzki here out of Australia, 161. KK Lim, 151. Newell here, 145. Ryan Kidd, no heart rate coming from him, but definitely trying to sit in, looking for a little bit more energy before 147 from Creel. All these boys are actually below tempo almost at this point, and things are about to go absolutely bonkers in the race now. Ryan Kidd now making his way to the front here, 4.7 watts per kilogram coming from Innovation now with KK Lim. And let's go ahead and see those predictions if they're changing at all. We still have Team Experimental Vision Innovation with the same coming through here, but Turksma now 4.3 watts per kilogram. Nothing serious just yet. I have a feeling we're about to see something here coming from Creel and Zawadzki. Kim Little at the back here, not really attacking. He's been the instigator over and over again. Now 9 watts per kilogram, though. He's throwing down that feather power up. He's got 12 watts per kilogram to give, though. Now goes flying right on by the other riders. Now 160 beats per minute, 780 watts. This is the most serious attack we've seen so far. It's only been in the 500s each time that they've come through this point. Immediately he opens up a 2-3 second gap. Looking at the screen screen now. It's out to 30 meters, 31, 32. It's going up like by the second here. He's got a meter every second, 2 meters a second here, almost out to 50 meters. Gooding, he's absolutely gone. He's almost out of sight, actually. 6 seconds to Kim Little. Look at the gap. What an attack. He's going for a full-on TT effort for an entire lap, it looks like, as Kim Little goes from the front. And Team Experimental is gone. Turksma, Zawatsky, they're all looking at each other. Who's going to do the work? Coming from unattached teams, really, PTZ is here, but nobody else to work with from PTZ. Creel's sitting in, not following anything. Vision Cycling's not going to chase. It's going to be up to Innovation here, I believe, as they've got 2 in the pack, but I just think nobody can do much of anything against such an attack from Kim Little. Up in that 12 watts per kilogram with that feather power up, he is absolutely gone. Kim Little with 11 seconds, but can he hold on to it all the way through an entire lap? 11 seconds is nothing. Up against a group of riders, though, that have the kind of power that these boys have. We'll have to see if he can hold on to it. 15 seconds. Now, it's starting to get into a really, really dangerous spot, though, for these riders if they just keep looking at them, each other. And they just keep looking at them, watching them go away, still into 6 watts per kilogram. The attack just continues, and they're like, GG, it's over. We're not chasing that guy. He is out of control. You can tell. They're just looking at each other like, you gonna do it? You gonna do it? I'm not gonna do it. Ryan Kidd now kicking it into 7.5 watts per kilogram. Newell Zawatsky's there as well, but now it's 17 seconds. Starting to come down just a little bit. If they're able to hold about 5 watts per kilogram or so at the front, they might be able to pull something back in. We'll have to see. Now we are seeing Creel here with a little bit of a power up here, 6 watts per kilogram or so, sitting in 6.2, trying to play things smart though. 20 seconds is the gap. It still is going out 6.3 watts per kilogram. We're going to see maybe another 331 or so, as this attack is absolutely huge coming from Kim Little. Looking over his shoulder, you can't even see the group any longer. Zawatsky is there at 4.7. Will they be able to hold down some 5+ throughout the rest of this lap to pull back Kim Little? But Team Experimental looks to be winning this one today with a solo attack, and these boys are racing for second place. Pimp Dud says if he holds it, he is the man for sure. Man, Kim Little's absolutely kidding. Haha, one way to make indoor interesting. Thanks, Mod. I will. Yeah, for sure, ads. It's they've been doing a really good job. Indoor cycling made social. And we've been doing this for about over 2 years, actually. I've been riding out on Zwift. A lot of these guys have been riding since beta, actually. Launched back in 2014, late 2014, and in 2015. I jumped on for beta and been doing almost 100% of my training actually out on Zwift. A lot of people have been calling something a Zwift effect because they've gotten faster from the motivation of riding the consistency of an indoor trainer with their intervals and other kinds of structured training out on Zwift. It's almost kind of like a secret weapon for some of the riders. And also, a lot of people that don't race and aren't as much in the competitive side of things have found it extremely motivating in order to hang out with the digital community that has been growing hugely. The Zwift community is an extremely passionate community, actually, of riders that meet up for group rides on a regular basis. There are continually rolling group rides on a weekly, daily basis that you can jump in at any time with familiar riders, jump into a Discord channel with them, communicate with them, and hold each other accountable to holding a certain pace and hanging out with each other and getting the time in that they need to do, especially if you're somebody who doesn't like to get out in traffic, or you can only ride when it's dark, or if the rain or weather gets in the way for where you're at in the world. A lot of people have found it a great way to get in some amazing fitness, actually, through the massive multiplayer online cycling made social. GTX 787 looks awesome. Good to see you. Thanks for the comment. We appreciate it very much. So now looking up at the front, though, we do have in this race now Kim Little 36 seconds up from the group now, and he's going to have to be able to hold on to this. Now, I do know his FTP is right around 350 watts. So at 350 watts, definitely going to be a difficult day here for him to hold on to this 382, 384, so at 5.5. 33 seconds is the gap now. We might start seeing some organization up toward the front. We do see a couple innovation boys making their way up to the front. 5.2 here coming from KK Lim. We did hear that he was a national masters champion actually back in 2015, I believe, just 2 years ago. Creel now making himself known up toward the front from Vision Cycling here now out of Australia. 5.7 watts per kilometer. If there's a man who can close this down, it would be Creel. Maybe they'll get themselves organizing and start really bringing this pace up all the way into the reverse Watopia climb, and somebody may be able to launch and catch Kim back before the finish of this race. 5.2 watts per kilogram at the front. Will he be able to do it? He went from a lap and a half to go, kicking it again. 6.3 now, 162 beats per minute, but I'm not sure he can hold on to this kind of a pace all the way through. Still only 30 seconds, but he's attacking at the places that it matters. Uphill, when gravity is in your advantage, that is the place to make things happen, because that is the place that the biggest gaps are opened up. 28 seconds the difference now, as we do see KK Lim now up at the front, 4.5, 25 miles per hour coming from them. Kim Little, 22. As they're going through the tunnel here, let's go ahead and match the speeds, though, to get an idea of whether or not they're closing that gap. 22 here coming from Kim Little. Now it is 23 here from Ascenders. Now down to 22. Will they keep it? Now it's down to 21. So they're actually traveling a mile per hour slower than Kim is at the same place. Now they are maybe seeing that and trying to jump things up just a little bit. Still though, 21, Kim just definitely turning the screws here and really making things difficult for these boys to chase them back down. G sweating to say not quite yet, but yeah, thanks for the comments there. Claps in the house. Commentary priceless. You're doing great. Clap. It's great to see you in the house. Always a pleasure, man. And one of my favorite other partners on Mixer, hanging out in the channel. And Clap, actually, I've seen you out there riding a little bit on your streams as well. Maybe not in Zwift, but we are trying to get you to jump in. We'd love to have you for sure. All right, Ascenders here with Turksmine. Now things are starting to get a little bit disorganized. You can see the gaps here at this point are starting to open up little by little. And so there's definitely a little bit of infighting, not quite as much organization, and a few riders definitely in the hurt locker as it strings out like this. You can see that the riders are definitely not grouped up, which means that they're just trying to hold on to the wheel that's immediately in front of them at this point. They're not able to soft pedal. Nobody's soft pedaling enough that anyone's coming around the other avatars and holding up on the power. They're all just trying to hold on to the power they currently have with the wheel that's directly in front of them. As the back of it, the group there, you can see it's slowing down, and a few riders do come around them because of the slowdown of the pace at the front. But whenever it gets into a straight line like that, and for an extended period of time, you know that they're just thinking about holding onto that wheel right in front of them at that moment. And Andrew 10 saying, I'm in 272nd right now. Sounds good, Andrew. I'm not sure there were 227, 222 out on course today, but I'm heading that way now. Truly pumped. See you there. Sounds good, GTX. This is awesome. I ride BMX, and sounds good, Moon Pies. Definitely check out Zwift.com if you want to jump into the game. There's actually some great sprint section, speaking of BMX, coming up right here. As you can see on the right-hand side of the course right now, the fastest time for the sprint section is a 12.2 right now, and you can actually get awarded jerseys that you can hold on to in the game. So like you jump into the game, right, and you just start riding in an open world. You're not a part of the event, and if you go and do the lap as fast as you can, and you do the fastest lap, you can get the orange jersey. As you can see here, I click on the orange jersey, and the fastest time is 11:49 as a part of the race right now. In this race event right now, the fastest time for the green jersey, the sprint jersey, is 12:20. Probably something you'd be after maybe as a BMXer for some of those faster twitch muscles for some quick efforts out on course. You can also, though, go and grab the KOM jersey, as you can see here, and you can hold it for 1 hour. So people go out and battle for these jerseys, actually, in the open world competition. Kind of like in World of Warcraft or other games like that, where you could go and take an area for your faction. Well, you as a rider can go and take that jersey for a certain amount of time before it resets out on course. There's also the Epic KOM. They aren't doing that part of the course. We have no data on that because it's a 20-minute climb. Once in a while, they do race out on the Watopia mountain. We might be able to see it off in the distance here, actually, if I get a good shot to show you guys exactly where the Watopia mountain is. It is right there. There is the mountain off in the distance. There is the tower. Long climb. Definitely a good time. I do my intervals over there for 20 minutes or so at a time, up and over the top over and over again. There's also the volcano, which is about a 6 to 7 minute climb. And then there's also the volcano KOM, or the volcano actually is a 6-minute crit course. And then the volcano KOM is also about a 6 or 7 minute, maybe 8-minute climb or so. So there are some competitions you can do out on course to try and beat other people's times as well. Moon Pies are nice is saying, been waiting for a new bike game. Well, this is one that you can actually put the power into the pedals out on course actually, and really bike against other people, as these are all real life people battling against each other from all over the world right now. KK Lim coming out of Korea now, racing for second place, it looks like, as Kim Little now out of the UK almost has a minute on the group as he heads into his final climb on the reverse Watopia right now. What's going on, Andrew? How's it going, man? Good to see you. How's it going? Good dank boot. Thanks for joining in to the broadcast. You're very welcome here. Elvis is saying, Elvis Wu is saying, Kiss Relay about to begin. Oh, thanks a lot for the retweet over on Twitter, Elvis Wu. Really appreciate the retweet over there. Quentin LaFay, thanks for joining in over at the Zwift Facebook as well. I'm doing good, man. Watching these boys absolutely demolish each other right now. Some of the fastest times I've ever seen on the reverse Watopia climb. We've got less than a half a lap to go for the win here in the Kiss Down Under race out on Zwift, and it's still a battle for second, but it looks like Kim Little is going to be taking the W here as he's starting to lap people out on course amongst the C and the D riders. Just came over from Mixer to follow. Thanks a lot. Appreciate it, Andrew. Appreciate it very much. So looking through here, it does look like about 50 seconds back. I don't think Kim Little is going to be caught, but amongst the rest of the riders, we do have KK Lim going from way out. He's using some of that RNG in his favor here, as he does have an arrow power-up. Now, if you're unfamiliar with the power-ups, there's the feather power-ups, which reduces your weight by 1 watt per kilogram. So essentially, you gain 1 watt per kilogram, and it's the smartest place to use that is on the uphills, obviously, where the gravity really kicks in and weight actually matters hugely. But there's also the arrow power-up, which is known to be the strongest power-up out on course that Innovation Boy just used. He grabbed about 14 meters, but I'm not sure it's going to be quite enough. Looking to be super consistent, maybe up in that 7.6 watts per kilogram. Ryan Kidd now trying to chase things down. You can see the group so hungry to chase him down. Pack of wolves there, up and out of the saddle, trying to bring KK Lim back into the fold right now. But with that arrow power-up, a 30-second power-up that you can use in order to bring your avatar, to make your avatar travel much faster, because it reduces the drag on your avatar actually, and so it just speeds it up on any part of the course for 30 seconds. But that's extra strong power-up actually was not able to do much for him as far as keep the group off. Maybe he was just in a hurt locker like crazy at that point and doing everything he could to try and get away or set himself up to hang on to the group. We'll give him a ride on as he falls off. It does not look like Innovation with KK Lim will be able to take that second place. Is Gooding still in here? That is going to be the question. I think Gooding has also been dropped. Oh no, Gooding is still there, just hanging on to Ascender's wheel. Ascender's now kicking it 9 watts per kilogram, staying on to Zawadzki's wheel. Newall's there, Turksman, and then it will be Little, 34 seconds off the front still. Kim Little now starting to fade just a little bit. 168 beats per minute, 4.2 watts per kilogram. Like we said, he opened up that huge gap, but it got to that point where he could no longer hold over 5 watts per kilogram for a consistent amount of times. Every time he goes uphill, gets a little bit of force back in those legs, able to go back into the 400s. But again, over and over, we're seeing him back into a 4.5, 4.2, 4.3, maybe a little over 5.0. But see, now it fades back again. And it's going to be all about just holding on to this gap as they've brought back almost 20 seconds actually in this last quarter of a lap or so. They are hunting him down like a pack of hungry wolves. They smell blood at this point, knowing that he's under 5 watts per kilogram. Often now, it's dropping second by second. Can Kim Little hold on to it? He's almost up and over the top. If he gets over the top with enough of a gap, it will be absolutely over, as it's pretty much just downhill from there. But he's got to hold on to it as he is putting everything he can into these pedals to grab this win today in the Kiss Down Under race. 166 beats per minute, 7 watts per kilogram, looking for a KOM time. Turksman now coming out of the Netherlands. No infight any longer. Every man for himself, as you can see here. Well, maybe a little bit of working together. Excuse me. Turksman now, along with Zawadzki, Newell, and nobody willing to really put their nose, though, into the wind at this point. Nobody willing to really take the brunt of the work or even work together as they keep dropping underneath that 4.0 watts per kilogram. Kim Little now benefiting from that and able to get away over the top with 42 seconds. He is not going to be seen again. Much love, NG. No problem. Appreciate it. And Moon Pies, appreciate you stopping in and your comments out here today. Much love as well, bud. All right, Newell here now with Turksma, Field as well, Creel all together. They're fighting for the second place though. Kim Little off the front, going to be taking that W for the Team Experimental. We'll go ahead and give them all a ride on as they're coming into that jittery moment. If you've ever been in a bike race before that is like this and you're coming into a sprint, you start getting those butterflies in your stomach at this point. You start getting those, okay, what's going to happen? The unexpected. There's a little bit of chance it's going to come into this. When am I going to go? When am I going to throw my chips at the table? There's a little bit of a risk. It's a little bit like poker at this point, actually. It looks like Ascenders is throwing some chips on the table. Newell as well, going from right at the top here. This is an extremely intelligent attack, actually. Attacks into the downhill, builds a ton of speed, carries that speed into 40 miles per hour into this point, has a 2-second gap, now sits in a Sagan tuck, and then jumps right back into 10 watts per kilogram. Newell here, super smart attack. Zawadzki now almost back on terms, though, drags the whole pack right back up to him. Bree Gooding is still in there. Creel's been sitting in as well. They all get the advantage of the draft to be dragged right back up to Newell. Newell threw his chips on the table, and now he might be all in and out. We'll have to see if he can hang on still after that crazy attack. Ryan Kidd now throws down as well. It's attack after attack up into 8 watts per kilogram. He had that arrow power up and goes off the front. Ascenders now covering it as well. It's cover after cover after cover, but 45 seconds up from them is going to be Kim Little for the W, bringing things into the finish line. It is going to be Zawadzki at the front as they're about to come around the corner here. 3.1 watts per kilogram. It's back to Grupo Compacto. Nobody wanting to put too much effort up at the front, but at the same time not wanting to be caught out. Zawadzki now makes his way to the front. He's jumping from way out. Kim Little with one little kick to the line, 13 watts per kilogram for some show, but way out is going to be the arrow power up coming from Zawadzki. 14 watts per kilogram, 943 watts, 187 beats per minute, but the other arrow power up coming from Gooding. It's going to be innovation. It looks like flying by as Zawadzki tried to hold on, but Gooding sat in that draft and timed it just perfectly, followed by Zawadzki for third place. Turksma from the Netherlands, then Ascenders for 5th. Creel comes in for 6th. Newell with that kick on that downhill. Little bit too much, too early, grabs 7th place, followed by Ryan Kidd for 8th, and KK Lim drags it in for 9th. That is your top 9. Eckersley now a little ways back from them as well. Going to be bringing it in for 10th place. If he's able to hold off, it looks like... Well, what happened to Eckersley? There he is, actually. Excuse me. It's actually going to be a battle for 10th at this point. They're about to lap, it looks like, Sebastian Neely here out of the US of A in the D category. But Dutton right along with Eckersley. This is for the last place in the top 10. Will the WBR rider be able to make this happen, actually? Here comes an arrow power up now as Eckersley throws it down 7.4 watts per kilogram. But he's got one on his wheel, locked on like glue. The WBR rider gone right from the get-go. The gap is already opened up. He was not able to respond quick enough. It looks like 10 watts per kilogram might not be able to do it unless he's able to hold on to those kind of watts per kilogram. But Dutton with that arrow power up just a little bit too fast to the line. It looks like he might get nipped though. It's right there. Nope, not going to happen. Like we said, strongest turtle shell in the game. He threw down that banana peel. Dutton across the line first, followed by Eckersley, and then it will be the WBR rider, KP. That is 10th through 12th out here today in the A category. Go, you good thing. What's up, Teza? Thanks for tuning in. Well raced everywhere. Clap, nice sprint. It was definitely a nice sprint. Fast race. Give me those scones, as always. Kim Little looking for the scones. Always appreciated, and always good racing Kim out on Zwift. Solid effort out there. A couple more coming in for the A category here. Tolhurst right along with Ore. Then it's going to be Miller there, 112 back from them in the B category. I believe Miller is probably winning the B category. There's definitely a battle going on back there, though, with Battiato and Salisbury out of Australia. Innovation Boy with a little bit of a kick here with that feather power up. And absolutely killing it, 8.6 watts per kilogram, giggity gone to the line. Tolhurst not going to see him again. Miller, I think, is the winner of the B category here. Solid race, it looks like, for him. I'm going to take a look real quick. So far for the A category, we've got Kim Little for first place, followed by Brody Gooding for innovation, followed by Linton Zawalski. And then in the B category, it will be D. Miller. But D. Miller's got a solid 4.7 watts per kilogram. Miller looking for an upgrade. Time for an upgrade there, Miller. That's definitely some A category numbers at 4.7 watts per kilogram. Looks like Florimond, though, will be the next one. Coming out of France. Solid ride for Florimond. As Battiato, though, looks like he was able to catch him, as well as Hinton and Elias here. We've got a battle here heating up, actually, for this B category, as Hinton, I believe, is trying to chase down Battiato. Actually, he chased him down 7 seconds back here. The attacks were up and over the top of the reverse Watopia. Innovation Boy said, see you later to Italy here. But it will be Elias here out of Australia trying to chase it down for second place. Is Battiato gone full on nuclear and might not have any legs left as they've been blown off maybe here. 7 watts per kilogram. Can he hold on to this pace? The Tron versus the Tron bike. As you can see, the glowing bikes they earn by climbing 50,000 meters in game with the Everstein challenge that you can do to grab that bike. That canyon there coming from the Innovation Boy, getting him across the line in first place for the B category, followed by Battiato. But Elias now grabbing onto the wheel. What an effort from the Innovation Boy. He's going to go flying by. Poor Battiato. Can he hold on? 8.4 watts per kilogram, 9 watts per kilogram coming from Elias, and he snips him right at the line for second place in the B category. Battiato has to settle for third. Innovation makes things happen out on course in the B category. In the C category, then, a little ways back, I believe we will have things heating up a little with Ormandy as well. He'll probably be grabbing the win, I would think, here in this category, as he has a solid gap, it looks like. Bouchard's there as well, but he's a part of the B category. They were racing it up a little bit. AHDR kit there, nice looking kit. That is one of the largest rides actually out on Zwift. The Aussie Hump Day ride. If you ever want to jump into a 400 person ride actually out on Zwift, a group ride that's well controlled, well organized, that's one to jump into for sure. From Singapore, not Indonesia. Max Missile. Ascenders a year ago. Hey Nathan, how's it going, Max Missile? Remember me, Ascenders, a year ago from Singapore, not Indonesia? Yeah, okay, I know what you're talking about there. Good to see you. Battiato sounds so good. And this is how I learned the new names of new cycling stars, Klopp is saying over at Mixer. Yeah, Max Missile, I remember. And I actually watch your streams once in a while over on YouTube. So really cool that you are still streaming. And we would welcome you to jump into our teams, actually, if you would like to, for the some of the streaming that we are going to be organizing amongst the community. I think you do a good job of streaming, actually, so definitely want to chat with you about that. Bouchard here. Looks like Hill or Mondi now battling it out in the C category. We'll watch this through and see if these boys are able to try and attack each other a little bit for the finish of the C's. About 1 minute back or so will be Pearson and Ringboard. They're going to be battling it out as well. If Pearson can hold on, he'll hold on to second place. Ringboard here coming out of Sweden for ODZ. We'll give him a ride on, as well as Pearson to encourage them up and over the top of the climb. But it will be Ormandy here now. 21.6 miles in, trying to hold on to S Hill. Oh, the gap just starts to open up just a little bit, though. Can he grab it? It is 4 meters, and it looks like he will be able to do so. It's going to be a battle right to the line between S Hill and Ormandy today for this last couple of places. Merida Factory Racing now. Great race. Well done, everyone. Thanks a lot, Russell. Appreciate you jumping into the broadcast and letting us know. And we've got a pick here coming from Kim Little. This was the winner here out there today. Merida Factory Racing, that's who he rides for, is the Merida Factory and team over in the UK. Merida Factory Racing UK. Zwift Effect, that is a puddle. I'm assuming not water, of course, on the ground there. Zwift Effect at Zwift Community Live. And it looks like Kim Little was working super hard out there. A little bit of a pink bike there, it looks like. I believe he rides a pink Merida. What setup is yours, Kim? I'd love to know. Need to work on my mic. I can help you there, Max Mixile, for sure. Definitely something that we're going to be resourcing out soon enough. We're going to build out Zwift Community Live for that kind of resourcing to help you guys with getting your setups just right for streaming Zwift, as streaming from a bicycle can have all kinds of new issues and all kinds of new solutions that you need in order to get it right, to look good and sound good. All right, we do have Hill now. It looks like a little bit of attack. Armandi not letting that go anywhere. It looks like Armandi will be able to take the win today in the C category. So if you are looking to jump into any kind of what's going on, Stampy friend? Hello, peoples from alien planet Earth. How's it going, Stampy? Lampre Fuchsia, gotcha. I gotcha. Good to see you, Stampy friend, over at the Mixer channel. As always, good to see new people in the channels. So if you are looking to jump into some group rides out on Zwift, we've got a couple of them that we would like to talk to you about, as we're going to actually follow this up. I didn't think these guys were going to battle it out, but we are seeing Hill and Armandi actually battling it out a little bit. They're giving us a show, so we'll stay on them before we talk about the group rides. But we got some group rides as well as some races that we are focusing on right now, telling you guys about and showing you that you can jump into out on Zwift, actually. One of them being the WBR, as well as the pack ride, the Wolfpack ride, the E-Crit that's going on. That's a really cool racing event that's going to have a live event that's pulling riders in from all over the lands down under, actually down in Australia. And then there's also the ZA, the Zwift Academy, that just launched that women can jump into, which is the talent identification program to award a pro contract, actually, for the Canyon Tram team at the end of 2017, as well as getting women together out on Zwift to better themselves through the power of bicycles through a series of workouts that they can do that are designed for the Zwift Academy. All right, we do see Armandi now trying to kick it up with S. Hill following very closely, actually getting the jump on him. 6.2 watts per kilogram will get the better of him, but Armandi will grab the W in that C category. Looks like Pearson's got a solid gap over Ringborg. So if you do not know what Zwift Academy is, Zwift Academy is a program for women that want to complete the program. It's I think it's a 6 to 8 week program. They shortened it up this time around, and you can go ahead and register over at, I believe it is academy.zwift.com. I have to double check that. It is in the promo video. If you just Google Zwift Academy, it's a really good way to find out all the information about it. But it is a talent identification program, as well as a program to encourage women to use the workouts as well as the group rides that are specifically for women out on Zwift to better themselves through the power of bicycles, get in shape, and push themselves to new levels through this, as well as compete, if you're interested, for the semifinals. Last year, they selected 10 semifinalists and chose 3 then, who all went to a training camp with Canyon Tram, and then 1 was selected from those 3, which was Leah Thorvaldsen, who is now racing pro for Canyon Tram, actually. So great talent identification program, the Zwift Academy, definitely something to check out. We'll run a promo for that in just a minute, but let's go ahead and talk a little bit about some of the other things that are going on out on Zwift. So we do have the pack ride every Tuesday, 7 p.m. BST, as well as Saturday, 4 p.m. BST. Definitely a group ride that you can go check out. Well-attended ride. Go ahead and head out on Zwift and check out their events. Looks like they are able to hold a solid group together. The WBRs then as well. They've got races and events every single day, multiple times a day. Definitely ones to watch out for as well. There's the WBR kit. various available everyday rides and races. If you go ahead and open up the Zwift mobile link at any time throughout the day, you can pretty much find a WBR ride to jump into that's fairly well attended. Then on top of the a lot of times the WBRs also have some of these little sprint rides as well, where they have sprints at different parts out on a course. Now, I'm going to go ahead and just let this one speak for itself a little bit, but this is the E-Crit.
Sits in that slipstream. Looks like we've got
Tuesday, 7 p.m. AEST and 7 p.m. AWST.
There's going to be a bit of shake and bake here.
1 kilometer to go.
This
Actually,
is the sprint here with 1 kilometer to go. In the last race that was out on Zwift for the E-Crit.
Pat Shaw is heading up the front now. 7
and they're just chatting here about what's happening in the sprint. But the E-Crit here, it's being broadcast by Jesper Anker, as well as Wesley Sulzberger, and they are doing a series of races that Zwift and KISS have put together in order to award at the end of the series 5 places from each one of the East and the West series for a live race event actually at the end of it. So if you're coming from Australian area, you can jump into that and be selected actually if you win those top 5 places. So another really great thing that you can jump into out on Zwift. And then there's also, of course, the Zwift Academy, and here is all the information, as well as a lot of information from the last year's Zwift Academy. That was a huge success. So if you are interested in Zwift Academy, check this out, as this is all that went down. Well, this is some of the stuff that went down, as well as some information about what Zwift Academy is doing for women in the sport of cycling.
Last year, Zwift Academy opened its doors, launching a groundbreaking worldwide talent search to find the next pro rider for Canyon SRAM racing. The competition exceeded all expectation. Over 1,200 women from 51 countries signed up to take the challenge in Zwift. In a truly grand finale, on the island of Majorca at Canyon SRAM's training camp, Leah Thorvaldsen of Little Rock, Arkansas, was crowned 2016 Zwift Academy champion and the newest member of Canyon SRAM Racing. This year, it could be you.
Oh wow, I could have a shot at a pro contract, but it's for anyone. It's a huge step forward in your own fitness, and so it's not all just about the one person who's going to get a pro contract. It's a win for everyone who's involved.
Zwift Academy is this great program where Zwift is trying to get the women more involved. It's just this huge, to me, a great community. There's women coming up going, I get how this could fit into my life.
What I think is so nice about Zwift Academy, I really think that it was inspiring lots of women to take part in this adventure. Maybe they've gone far beyond their own expectations.
How far I got in Zwift, there were 1,200 females that joined, and there were 100 females that finished Zwift, and I can't believe I was one of them.
Yes, it's hard. Come on, you can do it, you know, just do your best. Because it's not just the physical side, it's the determination and to boost your confidence in anything else you do, not just cycling.
Find out how strong you really are. Find new friends from around the world. Find out if you have what it takes to go pro.
Do not wait, just follow your dreams.
Be the best cyclist you can be. Head over to academy.zwift.com to find out more and sign up today.
So there it is. That's what Zwift Academy is all about. I see Klappauer over at Klappelauer. I believe that's how we do say that over at Mixer, saying great idea for a stream. I enjoyed it. Thanks a lot. I appreciate all the newcomers over at Mixer. Appreciate Mixer also featuring us. As always, you guys rock over at mixer.com. I am seeing a lot of comments coming in over at Facebook, actually. All good stuff happening on Zwift. Thanks a lot, Kev. You rocks. Kev Steven, as always. Always great to see you in the broadcast. Great win, Kim, coming from Marcus Neal. Chatting over at the Facebook right now, and great sprint for second and third places. Awesome race. Don't forget the watts per kilogram. All right, cool. Hey, Marcus, let's get a video for that one as well. Don't forget W/kg. That's the watts per kilogram 2-for-1 ride every Thursday, 8:35 BST. keep shooting them all at us. I have a feeling we're about to see a whole bunch of spam coming in from a bunch of rides because there's so many. You guys click on the Zwift mobile link for events, and you can see a million different rides to jump into, actually, with a bunch of other people out on Zwift. Cycling Made Social is what it is all about. So you can also head on over to zwift.com/events and see all the upcoming events as well. So up next, we have Ian Anderson is going to be doing a racer focus. That will also be featured on Mixer's front page, I believe, as well for the featured. And we will have him over on Zwift Community Live's Facebook, as well as our Twitch and YouTube. Thanks, NG. Good job. Thanks a lot, Ads. Really appreciate you hanging out for the broadcast, buddy. So yeah, Ian Anderson. So our racer focus, what that's all about is essentially watching what a first-person experience is of racing out on Zwift. I just chatted to you and commentated about what was going on with the race and gave you the overview, the bigger vision of what's happening in the race, giving you commentary, making it hype, having this awesome experience for the races, as well as you watching them put themselves into the Hurt Locker. But you can see that first-person experience of Ian Anderson here coming in up in a little less than, I believe, 45 minutes, actually. So about half hour, 45 minutes from now, Ian Anderson, racer focus for the KRT team, is also going to be live here. So make sure to stick around for that. If you enjoyed the broadcast just now, make sure to hit that follow button on your favorite streaming platform, as well as like our Zwift Community Live page, as well as the Zwift Facebook page. As always, you guys, thanks a lot for tuning in. Great job to the racers. It's all about getting that killer workout in. And as always, ride on.